Well, oh my goodness. Hello, everyone. Hello, welcome back to Halo 2. What's up? It's been a while, hasn't it? I was busy moving and shit and doing all that stuff. And that time I moved house, got a haircut, all that good stuff. And the camera angle right now is not ideal. I need to get a camera stand to put next to my monitor here so I can show off all my cool streaming posters over here on this wall that you can't see. Yeah, I actually cut my hair a little shorter than I would have liked, but that's okay. It'll all grow in. But yeah, we are here with the Regret boss fight. Even though I've not been streaming, I've been working extremely hard on this mod, polishing everything in the level up to this point, and also cracking away at this boss fight, which we are going to show off what I have done with it so far. Good to see you guys again. Yeah, I got all settled into my new place and loving it a lot. Dogs are loving it a lot, so happy about that. Haircut indeed. So this is what I've been looking forward to a lot with this mod, is tackling this boss fight. Because there's a lot of potential and room to grow with this boss fight, and all of Halo 2's boss fights. I've not even shown anyone outside of the team what I've done to the Heretic Leader boss fight yet, but you're gonna get to see what I'm doing with this one. That's going to involve a lot of new stuff, but first, just gonna tackle the sort of basics of how I wanted to approach Regret. I made sure to relight this BSP before we came on here, so we can get those beautiful sunset tones back in, because this level is probably one of the most ugly to look at when it is not light mapped, as you'll see here. Yeah, you don't want to be looking at that for a whole stream, do you? Yeah, I didn't think so. So yeah, got some light maps going for the stream, so that's good. Yo, Rejected Shotgun, it's good to see you, dude. Vanilla boss fights were so mid. This is one of the parts of Halo 2 that I'm most excited to tackle, because there's so much room to grow for it and everything. So the way I think about Halo 2's boss fights, and this also includes the last fight in Halo 3 with 343 Guilty Spark, is that I don't think Bungie really had any ambition or intention of making them real, fleshed out video game boss fights like you would normally see. I think their rationale to approaching it was it'd be lame to see these pivotal characters get killed in a cutscene, so we have to sort of do it in gameplay, because otherwise it'd just be lame. Thinking about it from that perspective, yeah, they were absolutely right. It's way better to kill these guys in game than it would be to see them die in a cutscene. So I think they totally made the right decision on that front. But as video game boss fights go, as far as like video game boss fights go, they don't really operate as boss fights, and so that's what I'm here to sort of explore. And that's been really tricky because it brings up the thing of like, are Halo's mechanics even suited to like your traditional video game boss fight format? And mostly, I don't think they are. I think they can be adapted to a typical video game boss fight, but it requires a lot of sort of nuances, new additions, or a lot of sort of creativity in order to make that work. Because otherwise you just get like complete bullet sponges that don't really sort of adhere to the way the player usually plays the game, if you know what I mean. Like Halo Infinite's boss fights, like, they're boss fights and you're using the same mechanics that you fight regular encounters with, but just buffing them up into giant bullet sponges is not really getting the most out of Halo's mechanics when it comes to translating them into a boss fight context, now is it? So that's something that's been really, really tricky to avoid. So how do you rebuild Halo 2's boss fights and allow you to fight them like you would with the same like gameplay language that you do with all of the regular encounters, without just relying on them being total bullet sponges? And so the answer I found was that comes in a lot of different things. It comes in a lot of different steps of utilizing all of the sort of mechanics the game has available, all of the AI, different AI, any sort of unique gimmicks you can come up with. It's a lot of things, a lot of nuances that go into it, and so that's something that we're going to explore today, and that's something that I'm going to show off to you because I think I already got the groundwork laid out for this portion of the fight. I will say though that Halo 2 does do a decent job of adapting its mechanics, its like new mechanics, into the boss fights. Like, for as little as the boss fights in Halo 2 do, I think they do show off some of Halo 2's new innovations really well. Because if you think about it, the Heretic Leader dual wields, shows off dual wielding. Regret shows off the vehicle boarding mechanic, of course. And then I can't really think of anything specific that Tartarus shows off with Halo 2's mechanics. But you know what I mean. And so I think the key to doing, like, if you were making a Halo game in a vacuum, I think the key to making boss fights is that you can't like super rely on the AI, like the AI character, the existing characters in the universe to be like things that the player can fight. Because like if you have a boss enemy that's just a brute, that paints you into a corner, because you're gonna either have to get super creative with how the player fights that boss and how the boss interacts with them, or you just make them a complete bullet sponge, which is like, at that point they're not even like this. Why would they even be a brute at that point from a gameplay perspective? I think if you want to have boss fights in a Halo game, it's best to come up with new characters entirely, like new species for the player to fight. Like the Monder boss fight in Halo Infinite is a really good example of that. Because they weren't constrained by the like limitations and gameplay language of an existing AI enemy type that the player fights normally, they had room to get a lot more creative, and they were restrained a lot less on Halo's sort of design language. But here we don't really have that luxury, so gotta get a lot more creative with that. So at the moment, I just sort of have a block-out version of the fight. I redid the scripts from the ground up so I could have complete control over everything. This portion of the fight is doable from start to end. We just don't have any of these sort of like AI dialogue lines that go along with everything. The AI orders are sort of a mess right now, so everybody just kind of goes wherever they want. But I think I got a really good foundation for how this will work, and we'll show that off now. I think first first, let me just spawn in Regret on his own here and show you what I've done with them. Turn off the AI here. Go away. Go away. Alright, so first of all, as you can see, I gave Regret an outer bubble shield that is clearly visible from afar and everything. The first thing I wanted to do with this boss fight was allow you to communicate with this enemy in the same gameplay language that you do with the rest of the game. So in that case, that means allowing you to use tactics to kill him that beyond the only tactic that you can use in vanilla, which is boarding him. Shooting him cannot do anything, does not do anything to him, which is, in my opinion, not good in for a boss fight in a game about shooting people. You know, just call me crazy. So yeah, that is one of the things I wanted to allow you to do with them, and so that sort of required some brainstorming about how that would work with a sort of feeble and weak enemy like Regret. So, because I think out of all characters, we want least of all to make like the prophets seem like bullet sponges. That just would seem like it would break suspension of disbelief way too hard. Yeah, people noticing my new cut. It's not ideally what I'd like. I cut it too short, but it'll grow into what I want it. So we can shoot at his shield here. It deflects plasma grenades. It deflects like big obvious projectiles. So deflects plasma grenades. It also deflects rocket launcher and the fuel rod projectiles and the needler. And so for this first phase, you need to find good ways to disable the shield, because the shield also prevents you from boarding him. So you cannot board him while the shield is active either. So you gotta sort of make a mix of tactics and sort of make some magic with all the tools available to you. So, but you can shoot at the shield with any sort of lower tier standard weapon. You just can't go like all in immediately with the heavy stuff. Gotta get a little bit more crafty than that. Once the shield is popped, you're free to board him. I don't have the scripts running right now. Let me do that so I can actually, so that actually works. Alright, once the shield is dropped, you're free to board him. I said you're free to board him. Hold on. My current test script is not built to make that work right now. Hold on. It works in my like actual like blockout testing script, just not in the one that spawns him. Let me see. Okay. So you're able to board him, and now we can show off that Echo redid the punching animation for Chief to look way less janky and stupid. Way snappier. And you can also see from that I gave Regret personal energy shields. So he has a bubble shield layer on top of a personal shield layer. And that's a really good way to communicate that shooting him actually does something. Okay. So let me respawn him again. Okay, so while he has that personal shield layer up, that also still deflects plasma grenades, but it will not deflect, you know, the heavier weapons and stuff. And then when you've actually dropped his personal shields, then you'll be able to stick him with plasma grenades. Well, my current test script is not set up to have that work, but that's how that works. The sort of effects around him will stop when his personal shields drop, and that'll let you know that he's vulnerable to all forms of damage. The sort of pulsing ring effects there. But also, thought it would be important to still preserve the headshot element. While you still obviously can't, like, let the player kill a boss in one shot with a headshot, but what we can do is we can make headshots deal significantly more damage to the boss than body shots do, as evidenced by the extremely gratuitous and obvious bright blood effects that it gave him whenever you shoot him in the head. So headshot weapons will still work on him as well. So yeah, lots of different tactics at your disposal. And a good way to pace out the sort of boss fight. And so this is all going to be used in conjunction with AI spawning around him and guarding him and stuff. So it'll be sort of be a big sandboxy balancing act of managing the AI that are coming after you, the AI that are guarding him, and also dealing damage to him, as much damage to him as you can before he teleports away and the sort of cycle resets. So we're gonna show that off right now in the sort of blockout encounter I have for this, which should represent the bulk of the fight from this portion of the fight from start to end. Yeah, all human weapons will still deal damage to the bubble shield, but plasma weapons, as always, will deal more damage than human weapons will. Charged plasma pistol shots, those will fully drain both of his shields individually. So it'll work exactly how you expect for the plasma pistol. And so that means I would need to control the distribution of plasma pistols in this fight so that doesn't become the super dominant strategy. And so for the plasma pistols that you do bring in here, it becomes a matter of making the most use out of them that you can. Oh yeah, and I also added some new attributes to his gravity cannon as well. If he'll shoot at me. Shoot at me, motherfucker. Shoot at me. I don't know what is up with this test script, but he's not shooting at me. Hold on. Oh yeah, there's something else I need to show off as well. In addition to this. Why are you not shooting at me? Unable to add weapon to inventory of spawn actor. What does that mean? I do not know why he's not shooting at me. Hold on. Let me get my actual test script for the boss going. Why are you not shooting at me? This is new. Hold on, it must have been some recent change I made to the gravity cannon. Let me see about that. Let's see, gravity throne. Gravity cannon. Profit, regret. Don't stick me. Okay, yeah, it was some recent change I made to his gravity cannon that is making him not fire it. Let's see. There we go. Okay, so I had his burst duration too low. Okay, so the attribute that I added to his gravity cannon was that it has a ton of force added to its area effect. It blows you away like that. And that's something I actually found to be really fun. So because you look at this, look at the level design for this boss fight, and the level design for this fight is actually pretty genius. Because you're running away from all these melee-oriented honor guards. Bungie had all of these sort of platforming elements to get you all around, and that's also really important because you need to get in close to Regret, who's floating around the entire arena in 3D space. So even though this isn't a great boss fight, the level design for it is really fantastic. And so, great way to further lean into that is for you to be able to take advantage of Regret's attack and have that sort of boost you around the arena if you time your jumps right. So it seems weird, but it's actually it feels really fun to get like flung around this vertical arena by the boss. I sort of love the video game tropes like that, where the boss has something that you can just like blatantly take advantage of in that way, you know? Alright, I need to go bring in groceries, so I'll be right back in like a minute. Be right back. Alright, I'm back. The eggs have been secured. What the fuck's going on right now? Did all the Marines die? Oh, hey there, madam. No problem. Do regrets reinforcements spawn infinitely like vanilla? No. They don't even spawn infinitely in vanilla, only the grunts do. I sort of took that same philosophy, except I have a more limited number of waves of honor guards, and we have an initial like wave of grunts that accompany them. And so the grunts still spawn indefinitely, but it just like spawns them in really small chunks after you deal with that first initial wave, so that the room isn't like too completely quiet, and so your allies still have something to shoot at that isn't just regret. And also in regards to the honor guards, I actually split the honor guards into two separate sort of groups here. With every phase of the fight, with like in certain thresholds of levels of health that regret gets to, it'll spawn in 2 honor guards to act as his bodyguards that'll follow him around the arena, and 2 honor guards, a couple waves of 2 honor guards that will actually like actively chase you. So 1 defending and then 1 going after you, essentially. Before we get to showing off this sort of, the whole sort of block out for the fight, let me show you one more thing that I did also. Not that. High-ranking enemies in this boss fight? Well, yeah, we have honor guards here. I do also have the grunts always be like a major in this boss fight, so all the grunts in this boss fight will be major to ultra. So another thing that I added that you can do is his gravity throne takes damage as well. Every time it's damaged, it'll sort of fling him to the ground in ways that you can take advantage of. So that can sort of be helpful to ground him and get him down close for you to board him. I tried to make it so it would sort of damage his weapons, but it has very limited way of working. The only thing I could get it to do was to throw off the accuracy of his cannon, and I actually found that to not be a good thing, because I sort of want his cannon to stay accurate so you can still take advantage of it and like fling yourself toward him using that, with the great amount of force I added to his gravity cannon. So yeah, his weapon does not take damage when you damage his throne, but it'll still like, it'll temporarily ground him. And so this redesigning regret was just mostly a big matter of adding a whole bunch of new interesting interactions with him and throwing him into an interesting sort of sandbox of enemies and working out the sort of pacing and timing of all of that stuff. Oh, why would you want to board him instead of shooting him when his shield is down? Well, it depends on if you're close to him or if he's far away from you. in order to actually deal health damage to him, you need to get his personal shield there down, but in order to board him, you don't need to actually get his personal shield down in order to do that. So it all depends on your tactic, your approach, and the context of that current moment. And your sort of quick thinking is what I'm going for. Okay, so at the moment, the AI orders here aren't really all that refined, so where they're told to stand and fight from is kind of a mess at the moment. But the overall flow, start to end of the boss fight, is pretty much intact. Pretty much how I want it at this early point here. And I want to add a sort of skill ceiling here to where it is fully possible to like get Regret to teleport, do enough damage to him to get him to teleport, like without having to kill that many enemies, but it's really difficult to do so. But also having that sort of low skill floor, and that if you have room, you're able to deal with like all of the enemies, and then after you deal with enough of them, you're able to get Regret alone, more or less. So you're basically guaranteed that room and opportunity to be able to kill him. It's really just a matter of when, based on like how on top of him you are. Gives you a bit of a breathing room space before it starts the next cycle. I think we're still on the first cycle because I didn't get his health low enough. So coming into the second sort of phase here, he has a new wave of sort of bodyguards spawned in. When he spawns back in, there he is. And then as you progress through the boss fight, his bodyguards will spawn with new weapons. The second phase of bodyguards being dual-wielding plasma rifle users, and then on higher difficulties, higher difficulties, that's going to be the sort of vanguard honor guards with shields. So at the moment, your red just sort of goes wherever he wants here, but what we're gonna do on this stream is we're gonna refine that so he's able to better stick close to the bodyguards that are supposed to be guarding him and playing sort of defensively, not just sort of rushing around haphazardly like this. I also need to get those plasma batteries to not be able to flung around, so Regret can't destroy them himself, and you'll be able to use them yourself. Let me kill his other bodyguard over here. It's like, I don't know if I have any shield guys spawning on normal here. They do on heroic up. Let me see. Thank you, Vanguard, for the membership. Okay, now we're on cycle 3. Okay, yeah, so on normal, it's still 2 plasma rifle wielding honor guards. I'll load this up on legendary so you can see the extent of how far this can go. And what I found too is the pike is really like super cool, because you can use it to not only pop his bubble shield really well, but you can also use it to get yourself really close to him and like chain a lunge from the pike into a board onto his throne. So I love like really fun sort of little interactions like that can come about as a result of mechanics sort of working together in conjunction. Let me see if I can demonstrate that. Yeah, that's super fun to pull off. And there we have it. That's that part of the fight complete. Now, full disclosure, there is going to be so much more to the boss fight than to just this section here. We're not going to be focusing on that today. I'm going to keep that under wraps. We're just going to polish what we have here today. So while doing that, let me also go to all these plasma batteries here and make it so they're not getting knocked around. I need to give them all a name. And then just disable their dynamic simulation. Yeah, you don't ever see fusion coils in campaign that I can think of. You do get the Forerunner fusion coils, though. Let's see. Was that all the plasma batteries I placed around here? Created those fusion coils for H2R? I think it was Luna. Either Luna or Patty are responsible for that. I have plans for engineers, Kai, don't worry. Just not in this portion of the fight. Alright, let me create all that stuff. Object create containing battery. And then disable all the dynamic simulation for them. I already made it so his gravity cannon can't do any damage to them. And there are several crates in the arena too that I disabled dynamic simulation on because they're like the ones that have weapons with them. It's probably important that those stay static and can't get knocked around by regret. I beat your regret pre-nerf. Hey, I've done the entirety of Halo 2 Legendary Deathless, I'll have you know. And this was like one of the scariest parts to do, but I did it. So I have earned my stripes to be able to make him not as cancerous to fight on Legendary. Why not in this portion? Because it would be too much at once. It is much better to just focus, get the most out of the dynamic between your allies, the honor guards, and getting to learn how regret even works first before throwing in curveballs like engineers. Have a good one, Madam Lava, and good luck. Hello, Ceylon. Okay, let me load this up on Legendary so you can see how his bodyguards work on there. plans do I have for Sacred Icon and Quarantine Zone? Probably the biggest thing would be enemy Marines. And that's going to be a whole can of worms that I can't wait to design for. Map geometry plans changes for Sacred Icon. Yeah, I don't know in what form yet though. Probably not for Quarantine Zone though. Just sort of because I want to keep... It would be really easy to get carried away with a level like Quarantine Zone, and I kind of want to make it a point to work with that level on its own terms with its existing geometry, which I think already has a ton of potential. Compared to something like Sacred Icon, which is a lot more repetitive and has a lot more room to grow, like with the first half being nothing but fucking respawning sentinels, which is not fun. Okay. Let me not choke this. Already failed. Yeah, don't pay any mind to like the really messy AI orders right here. That's something we're gonna work on this stream. Just been focusing on getting like the AI and sort of how the scripting infrastructure will work and everything up to this point. We're gonna actually make sure it's all fun, well-paced, and polished on this stream. As you can see, his honor guards can dynamically upgrade to the ultra rank. His bodyguards start out as pike wielders. Gotta be careful about these guys coming to sneak up on you. I love my pike honor guards. I have gotten so much mileage out of these guys on this mission. As you can see, I also made the ODSTs, if they're still alive by this point in the mission, come up on the bridge and provide you covering fire from up here, and the regular Marines are sticking by the entrance. As opposed to Vanilla, which has a really stupid way of handling it, where the Marines can just follow you literally anywhere in the room, which is not good for them. It would just instantly get killed by all the sword-wielding honor guards. Okay, and now we've thinned out all the enemies and we have room to take on Regret ourselves. So if you're really bad at juggling them, you'll have your opportunity. You'll still have your opportunity to damage him if you commit to taking out all the enemies first. But if you're skilled enough, you should be able to get straight to him, even with all the enemies surrounding you. In theory. I'll have to test that. And we're still at the first sort of phase of the boss fight. We haven't done that much damage to him yet, so enemies haven't spawned in yet. It's not until he gets under a certain threshold of health that we'll spawn in a new wave of bad guys. There we go. There we go. Dropped his personal shield there and is able to stick him. And that does a fuck ton of damage. Maybe even a little too much damage, but you get the point. Like, I think I got him to almost... I think I got him to less than 10% health, which is almost finished us with the fight already. So you're still rewarded for landing sticks and hitting him with explosive heavy weaponry. Oh no! Oh, let me show you how, sort of, if you brought a rocket launcher into this point, how that would sort of work. Because I always found it really disappointing in vanilla that you bring a rocket launcher into this fight and it literally does nothing. It does nothing to get the boss fight over with sooner. So it's like, it feels like you're not being rewarded for playing the game, for continuing to play the game in the design gameplay language that you would with the rest of the game. I think the fucking core save might be bugged here. Fuck you, tag test. Oh my god. That's a glitch with the core saves and checkpoint system. Editing tool glitch.
Contact up high. Grenade. Enemy above.
I need to pace out how these honor guards fight you a lot better. Preferably have the door open way sooner from a larger distance, so you're not right up in your face immediately. Alright, so rockets will... His bubble shield will deflect rockets and fuel rod and stuff like that, but it'll still take a ton of damage once you actually drop his bubble shield. And you couldn't lock onto him, of course. Still fine-tuning the exact amount of damage he takes from this stuff. And of course, landing like a direct hit on him, which is easier to do if you don't lock onto him, will do more damage than like hitting his throne or something. So there's still that element of skill there. That was a really cool way today, I'm not gonna lie. I like that. If there's gonna be a way that the player dies, I want it to be like that in this fight. That was awesome. Let me try getting his bubble shield down, then draining his shield, and then landing a direct hit with a rocket. See how much damage I get out of that. Ow. Ow. Yeah, sniper and beam rifle shots will damage the bubble shield. It's only like projectiles like grenades and the fuel rod and the rocket launcher. It's only those and like the needler too. God damn it, tac test. And the needler that'll actually deflect off the bubble shield. So like projectiles that actually have a model is a good way to think of it. Heavy projectiles. This is on legendary in tag test right now. It's not necessarily power weapons that I want to stop from hitting the shield. It's sort of like, I don't know, cream of the crop power weapons. It's power weapons that would be like, if they were able to damage the bubble shield, they'd be like the only thing that you would have to use, is a good way to think of it. Because like, it's better for like the bubble shield to deflect the super strong dingings against him, like the needler and the rocket launcher and the plasma grenades. It's better for those to deflect off his bubble shield at first, so you use other tactics to get him weak first, and then you use the things that are gonna do like the crazy amount of damage to him, if you know what I mean. It's encouraging and requiring that sort of diversity of tactics and quick thinking is what I want to go for here. Beethovenus, hello. Have any voice lines you can play? Yes, he has a lot of cut stuff, or like not cut stuff, but like stuff that never doesn't have any sort of facilitated use, dialogue lines that I can get a lot of mileage out of here. And that might be something that we look into in this stream. Oh, I love seeing the ODSTs do their melee. That's so sexy. Okay, can I actually use a fucking rocket launcher, please? Without tac test glitching out on me. Music that'll play during the boss fight? Oh my god, I would love to get some fucking custom music tracks made for the boss fights here. It's just that we don't happen to know anybody who really has the time to do that. I would love if I could ask like Neo Taika to help us with that, but he's like super uber busy, so I'm kind of afraid to ask him, to be honest. But if we could get actual like custom music in these fights that would fit within Halo 2 soundtrack, yeah, I would absolutely go for that. But otherwise, it's gonna remain musicless. You know, aside from the Tartarus fight, which has the high charity sort of groaning theme to going with it. Oh hey, James Black, thank you for the $5. Please donate just $18 to the Save an Elite Foundation to protect our split jaw friends. Would you be an angel? Will you be an angel or a Tartarus? Using Tartarus as a slur. Oh yeah, yesterday was my birthday, by the way, guys. I turned a fresh 29. Ow. Yeah, yesterday was my birthday, so had some good noms. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Get these little fuckers out of here. God. I love getting flung around the arena by him like that. It's just like, you'd think something like that would be annoying, but like, no, it's actually fun. It's fun when it happens and he gets you up to a higher platform. Oh yeah, ever since CER, I've loved the idea of making the heavy weapons into big beat sticks. Oh yeah, that did a good chunk of damage hitting him directly like that. God, oh god, I gotta. Whee! Did I already take the health pack that was right here? There should be a health pack that spawned on that wall. Ow. But yeah, the most of the work on this boss fight up to now was just sort of finding the fun, if that makes sense. Just designing for a ton of different, like, interesting interactions and then being able to throw them all into a sandbox together to see how it all works. And I'm really happy with how that's coming along so far, so we're gonna polish up what we have right now. Okay, that's cool, Williaso. Contact me on Discord if you have me there. I forget if you do. And I'll take a look later. Alright. Can you still punch regret? Yes. So the first thing I actually want to do is I asked Echo to make some custom animations that I can play on Regret whenever you board his throne. So we're going to test that out right now. One animation for him like panicking when you're on his throne and punching him, and another animation for him scrambling to work his controls on his throne whenever he's about to teleport away. Just a little bit more like character to the fight, you know? As opposed to vanilla, which is really janky and awkward. Janky and awkward in that he's like just like sitting there neutral faced while Chief slowly punches away at him. Like, it's funny that you can tell by the time they got the Halo 3, someone at Bungie was like, okay guys, we really need to overhaul our vehicle boarding animations because they look really weak and slow. And then Halo 2's like, then the Halo 3's like literal sparks and explosions coming out everywhere. Oh fuck. Did I ever show you guys the fucking overhauled boarding animations that we did? Fuck. Okay, since I'm already on the subject of that, I might as well show you. Let me load up Blood Gulch, or Coagulation. It wouldn't be a stream of mine if we didn't get totally sidetracked and distracted. Oh yeah, no, acknowledging that Marty O'Donnell's a complete dipshit is not crashing out. Don't be ridiculous. But let's not get into that whole political can of worms right now. Anyone that... Yeah, going to bat for Marty O'Donnell will not be tolerated in this chat, so don't even bother. You'll get a timeout first, and after that, if you keep doing that, it'll be a ban. So just leave it be. Okay, let me show you the vehicle boarding animations that we did. Let's see. Pretty much just trying to get them up to speed with Halo 3, which has the superior boarding system. What squad is that? Are you viewing the AI chat summary in my chat? How does that work? I don't even know where that is. I've seen it in other people's chats and it's really funny, but I don't know where it is for me. In regards to the Among Us Easter egg yet? Oh, I've not done anything with that, but I'm still really proud of it. The literal first thing I ever modeled. I'm very proud of it. Like, look, I even made the visor a really shiny specular. Normals on it are kind of wonky. I didn't know how to reset vectors yet, but hey, it's a good first attempt. Don't pay too much attention to the weird stuff like the Spartan laser on the ground there. Don't think about that too hard. What is the squad that I used? Okay, yeah, it's this. Okay. We have the animations working for both Chief and Arbiter. It's not quite as fast as Halo 3, but still nice and snappy. And I also redid it to where you actually need to hop off of the thing when you grenade it, because otherwise you'll just get blown up. So I made the fuse timer last way longer along with that as well. And I also made it so using a grenade will destroy the vehicle. So there's actually a distinction in whether or not you should just melee and kill the driver, or if you want to destroy the whole vehicle, you'll use a grenade. So make sure to dismount if you're doing that, because otherwise you will get blown the fuck up. Yeah, so that was very satisfying to do. Because as cool as the vehicle boarding is, it's pretty limp and janky in vanilla Halo 2. The hijacks are just fine, it's just the boarding, vehicle boarding, that is kind of lame. It's especially lame if your like allies are shooting at the vehicle you're boarding at and then they end up killing you. But yeah. We did that same sort of thing to the Regrets drone boarding, giving it that much better animation. Anyway, back to Regret here. Echo made a couple of good flavor animations that I'm going to test out here, and then I'm going to insert that into the script for when you are boarding and when you teleport. Opportunities to fight lesser prophets around H2R and H3R. I don't know if prophets have any place as, in these games anyway, as regular enemies, because their profile is already way too similar to like the elites and the jackals. So, and there's really no need to introduce them when we already have the brutes and we need to get the most out of them that we can in those last 4 missions. And also, not to mention the Flood, which also only have 4 missions to their name and only 1 mission to shine in the last quarter of the game as well. So they'd be that minor prophets are getting into the territory of just like sandbox content bloat, and we really want to avoid that. If someone asks me for the Slugman one more time, I'm gonna lose it. McFrickin' lose it. Maybe if like Halo 2's last quarter had like a lot more sort of to work with in terms of like, I don't know, if it weren't in the last quarter of Halo 2, that would be the only place that you could put them. Because I feel like their inclusion would just end up taking away from the brutes. Oh yeah, that idle animation. Is that our custom idle animation or is that a cut one? I forget. All I know is that I did do the sound for that idle animation myself. If it'll play. The physics mechanic to the Prophet Beam can do a lot. Oh yeah, I love playing around with physics in Halo. I really wish the series would do that even more, because that's always fun. It's always really opens up a lot of fun possibilities with what you can do. Alright, so let me dive into my little script here so I can write out the script expression for getting him to do that animation. Introduce brutes earlier as an element of the sandbox like SPV3, because then the brutes would end up taking away from the like elites if you introduce them earlier. So like in Halo 2's first 3 missions, you need to be all about introducing the elites and getting the most out of them, and then in the context of this mod, Regret and Delta Halo are all about getting the most use out of the honor guards in addition to the engineers. So introducing the brutes in those parts of the missions would just inherently end up taking away and distracting from that stuff. So you kind of need to save them for the last act of Halo 2. Has always been my rationale for that. Oh yeah, you could totally do that, Hazard. I'm just not sure if that's really needed. It could be good to give you like a heads up for when he's charging up, but the projectile's already sort of slow enough that you can react to it fast enough, and also it has a really recognizable sound when it's firing as well to go along with it. So I kind of feel like it doesn't need to charge up. Well, the problem with that Beto Venus is that the problem with settling on making them a really rare enemy is that that's a lot of asset and time investment for something that would be designed to be extremely rare, and that would be like a really bad allocation of time for a mod that's already taking this long. Like, if we're gonna make an entirely new enemy type, we need to be able to design entire swaths of the game around it, like we are with the engineers. The engineers were already like an extremely tight fit into the mod with everything we've done so far right now. So that should sort of give you an idea of how an enemy really needs to justify its own existence for us to be able to like make that, because we're not game developers. We are very like limited in how much we can do in a certain amount of time. Oh yeah, we already did a ton with the Flood Juggernaut Vanguard. I practically built the entire first half of Oracle around the build up to the Juggernaut fight. And I can't wait to get more use out of them come Sacred Icon. Okay. Let me write something here I can copy down. Custom animation, AI gate, unit, regret. Okay, let me take a look at the animations that Echo put in. Regret, escape, and regret, panic. Okay. Objects, characters, profit, regret, panic. See, where is that animation graph? Rough estimate for the next video? I'll make the next video when I'm done with this mission, which will be after I'm done with the boss fight here. Where's that animation? Boss model animation graph. Oh, did that have its own animation graph? Where is that? Profit boss. Have you modified any cutscenes? Yeah, we have. Gold Athena is basically our director of cinematics, and the fact that we have a director of cinematics should tell you everything you need to know. We're practically remastering all the cutscenes at this point. Where is that animation graph connected to this? That animation graph's not even... Does it need to be... Does the model animation graph need to even be... referenced within the character's hierarchy to use it? I don't think it does. Profit, boss. Okay. Get rid of the shield so I can see. Wah! Okay, that's a good start. I would prefer to have him flailing his arms back and forth like this. I'll relay that feedback to Echo. Okay, now about the other animation. Alright, that is great. Let me plug those right into the script. Easy peasy. And then play his other animation here. Okay. Let's see, will this touch script make it work how I want it to? No. Nice. Okay, I need to have him play the escape animation sooner. Let's cut this down by 20 ticks and then add 20 ticks after this. Yeah, that injects some really nice life into him. Okay, let me forward that feedback to Echo. Hello again, Williaso. Ugh. Making my foot rest over here. Okay, what next? So I already got like the scripting infrastructure and everything down for all the AI respawning and everything. So I think what we're gonna work on next is getting the AI orders all polished and everything. So where they're told to stand and when. Most important thing for that is I need to redesign Regret's actual orders as well. And I have a good idea of where I want him to be at every phase of the fight. Let me first make some Boolean scripts that I can reference in Sapien. Where is my script keeping track of the phase of the fight? Here it is. Okay. So go script static Boolean. Boss 01 phase 1. And that'll be... That'll reference a global short that I already have. This will be if gboss01 phase is 1, and then 2 and 3. And then this will help me just automatically progress AI's orders depending on what phase of the fight we're in. Okay, let me make some triggers for that. Alright, boss 01 phase 1. Script reference is true. That script reference will be boss 01 phase 1. Alright, and then same deal over here. Boss 01 phase 2. Script reference true. Phase 2. And 3. Okay, now, the vanilla fight here already gave Regrets differing orders depending on how far you were in the fight, so let me take a look at what they did there, just for reference. Okay. So he pretty much just sticks to the middle here in vanilla. Easy. And then he goes higher up in the second part of the fight. And then he can go pretty much anywhere he wants in the third part of the fight. Alright, so what I'm thinking is... we're gonna have him mostly stay put over here in this first part of the fight, so we can get the most use out of his bodyguards that we can. And then we can add some more sort of detailed behaviors on top of that. So let's first set his, make a new order for that. Boss 01, Regret 01. Guarding, always active. Alert, and I have not, maybe should I make a new zone for all this? I don't think I need to. I think what vanilla has here should already be perfectly suitable. Maybe I should have him be able to float a little higher up. We'll see. think we'll have him use these firing points here, and then when his bodyguards die, when his bodyguards are dead, boss 01, bodyguards dead, then we'll have him fly around a little bit more. What's the lore with the Grunts and Shealy couple and two portrayals? Don't think too hard about it. Don't worry about it. A or fewer alive. Also one honor guard guards. Okay. So when they die, we'll have him fly a little bit in a more larger range. Okay, so that'll be his first order, and then we can just add on to this an order ending. When the boss fight goes to phase 2, we'll just have him automatically progress to this. I need to delete some orders so I can actually make some new orders here. Does the Ruby Grunt survive? He lives on in all of our hearts. I'm sure it's not the last we've seen of him. How much does regret differ on different difficulties? The biggest difference is his bodyguard, but I did make it so there are more general enemies that'll spawn during the fight on the higher difficulties. What are some orders that I can get rid of here? I think it's all of the sunk chamber orders that I can get rid of because I just redid all of those. Let's see. Yep. Okay, I'll have him automatically progress to his second phase orders if we are on the second phase. And then for that phase, we're gonna have him go to the opposite side of the room. Have him sort of hang out over here. I might need to adjust the Marines orders here, but we'll see about that. Have him hover around sort of here while his bodyguards are alive, so he can just use that same trigger. I wonder, he needs to be able to, if he spawns in while his bodyguards, before his bodyguards have spawned in, he'll go to his secondary area set. But if his bodyguards spawn in after that, will he go back to his first area set is the thing I need to see about. And I already made him spawn pretty much where I want him to, in accordance to like the orders that I have in mind here, so that's already done. I had a weird Mandela effect when I was a kid playing Halo CE for the first time. I could have sworn that there were blue grunts, but then when I went back to play the game and I got to know it more, there were in fact not blue grunts. But that is a memory of mine, and I'm still searching for those blue grunts. Alright, so we'll have him just fly higher around here. When you get rid of his bodyguards. Okay, and then he'll progress to the third order set after that. Okay, and then in the third phase, he and his bodyguards are gonna occupy this top space up here. And then I might need to adjust the height of these so he's not like colliding with the ground. In a way that makes him look stupid. Misremembering the black grunts? No, I remember feeling like there were blue grunts on the mission Halo. Some players killed allied separatist forces even when you change their colors. In what game? Halo 2 or 3? In 3? Well, there's only so much you can do there. Bungie tried to do what they could by having the elites say, "I am your ally," and Arbiter whenever you shoot them. Okay. And then when your honor guard bodyguards die, have you fly in a much larger radius. Okay, so that'll better keep a cap on where Regret is going, and as a result, subsequently, where his bodyguards are going. I might need to still feel out where I want his bodyguards to stand exactly. But I do know, hold on. I rely on some point sets to tell the honor guards where they need to be, so I need to add a couple of points up here so his bodyguards will properly follow him up here as well. Make a new point set for that. Hopefully I can use that within the same command script. Okay. And then we'll just have the bodyguards all like sort of, I really want them to sort of concentrate up here. In the third phase. Proud you're able to do what you do. Me too. Thank you. Okay, so I have a command script that tells the honor guards to follow Regret around. Let me find that. Here we go. It's one big giant conditional thing here. You remember a blue grunt on the Pillar of Autumn in an OG Xbox version? I bet it was the initial, very first release version of Halo CE that had the soul of Jason Jones' dead twin brother or something that they had to patch out. How many points did I add here? 9. Thank you, Hatefulness, for the $9. Thank you for the hard work you and your team are putting into this. Can't wait to see the full release. Can't wait for you to play it. Thank you. Thank you guys for your support, by the way. It's what enables me to keep doing what I'm doing here. Okay, let me make sure that works. And that Regret goes where I want him to. Do I have a job outside of content creation? Nope, this is my full-time thing. Why was he not playing his animation there? I think it's because I drained his shields first and then hopped onto his throne. Let's see. Need to have him play this animation whenever you hop on. So if he's ifter over 50% of his current health threshold, we'll have him do the panic animation and then wait a couple seconds. Otherwise, we'll have him immediately do his escape animation. Actually, we need to have him do his escape animation regardless of any other circumstance, regardless of whether or not you're in his throne. I can add that to here, and I think that should cover all the bases. Make him always play his escape animation regardless of the context. Somewhere at 50% with the mod. I don't even want to say or estimate at the moment. We don't have every plans for every step of the way lined out in detail. All I know is that we're on the 7th out of 13 playable missions, I think. Because Delta Halo is 6th, and I think this is the 7th. Okay, so the script boolean is not working. Oh, it's because I didn't get his. We're still on the first phase. Okay. Okay, now we're on the second phase. Where are you? Okay, so I need to have him. The way I have it set up right now is that I have him teleport to the farthest position away from you. I wonder if I should either set his orders to be where he ends up teleporting to, or if I should just have him always teleport to wherever the next phase of the fight should be. Gotta stop from trying to fly into there as well. Now we're on the third phase. I think I'm definitely going to need to add spawn doors up here so his bodyguards can immediately get up here where they need to be at the start of this phase. Because the only spawn doors at the moment are all the way down on the floor here. It'd also be good to spawn any, like, beginning wave of grunts up on this floor as well. See, there are his guards there. They got up here way too late. I kind of want... The idea with this fight is that I want... The further you get into it, the higher you and Regret climb up. Kind of like a lightsaber battle. Let's see. Do I have him... I have him change his orders depending on where he teleports to, or... I think... Let me try having him change his orders depending on where he teleports to. If I do that, though, then I can't have them go to specific places. I think if I'm going to have him teleporting at all, then I need to change his orders to reflect that. Because otherwise, what's the point of having him teleport away from you if he's just going to have to come back to you anyway? If you're, like, in the place where his orders are currently set. That's in his respawning script, which is here. And this is where he's told to teleport, so I can make orders corresponding to each one of these. So let's try that. And then I already have it set up so his guards will spawn wherever he's closest to as well. So let's set those orders based on what quadrant of the room he's in. He set some other orders separate from these. Always have him use the same set of orders for the very first phase, and then the very third phase. But the second phase, we'll just let him go anywhere. Let's rework how this works. And let me have him progress to, Hey, thank you, Spectre!
In celebration of me finally being re-employed, please accept my humble donation.
Congratulations!
Love what you're doing.
Thank you very much, Spectre, for the 2552. You're awesome. And thank you especially for using Streamlabs. YouTube does not take a cut at all from that. Should probably just handle this tag side, or script side. Okay, first one of these will be, this will be wherever he ends up respawning, so this will be near left. And then the secondary area set when his guards are dead. Allow him to just fly a little higher. Maybe not all the way into that corner over there. Okay, and then also one regret. O2 near right. Same deal, just on the right side. Okay, and then boss 01 regret 02 far left. You're going to be over here. Yeah, I feel like you should maybe add some more firing points here for when his guards die. Add some over in this corner. Some in this corner. Oh yeah, I need to mark these as vehicle zones too, so you can actually use them. And then some higher firing points in the center here would also be good. Mark those as vehicle areas. I might need to regenerate pathfinding to get that to work. Okay, that's on the left. Okay, and then this is on the right. Boss 01, Grunt 02, far R, far right. Okay, now let me set all that up in the scripts. Really? Let me just, since I'm gonna be calling this several times, let me just make all of the order setting into like a static script. Boss. O1 orders. Actually, I won't be able to do that because it's supposed to be setting his orders depending on where he is in the room. Let me go. I'm making this a conditional. Conditional. G boss 1. Phase 1. And then if we are on phase 1, and then he doesn't need his order set if we're on phase 1, so we can just skip that. If we're on phase 3, set it to his phase 3 orders. But as for phase 2, I'll have to check for where he is in the room. I already have trigger volumes set up for each of the 4 quadrants. I already have a system for that set up. What would be the best, least messy way of writing this out? I guess I can make this into a static script and just have the conditional within that static script. Boss 01 orders. And then script static void. Boss 01 orders. Alright. Conditional within a conditional. Okay, so use the same set of trigger volumes that I did here. Alright. How goes the Elder Abuse? Hi, Mindful. Going good. Shut off what we have with the boss so far now, and now we're polishing up the AI orders and progression of the fight. Okay, so if you are, let's not check for the players here. AI actors regret instead. Okay, so if you are in the left and near, AI set orders, regret, boss 01, regret, 02, near left. And do the same thing. The same thing with all these other quadrants of the room. Near right. Far left. And far right. Okay, and then if we're also phase 3, just set us orders to phase 3. Okay, let's see how that works. The essayist. Not running the scripts, so my allies are pissed off at me because our allegiance is not set. Right, that also reminds me I need to regenerate pathfinding. Be right back. I'm gonna go get some water. Howdy do, neighborinos. All right. Let's make sure that's all working. The script's still not running. I always love when I forget to do that and my allies are really mad at me. Everybody has to react to my new haircut, yeah. Get this shit off my screen. I think we're in the second phase. No, we're still in the first phase. Probably good to have him still come to you if you're still in the first phase. I should maybe raise the threshold for him going into the second phase, because I feel like that was definitely enough damage to get him to go into the second phase. Let's see, this cached health needs to be below what the boss health difficulty is set to, and this on normal, that is set to 66%. Okay, let's set that instead to 75%. What other game franchises do I like? Really like Left 4 Dead. I like The Sims, the older games. Now we're on phase 3. Ah, it's a lot of guys. What is the max amount of honor guards that I can have alive at once? Now that I think of it. Did I even set there to be a max amount that there can be? I think I always... Wait, no. Where do I spawn the honor guards? There's a lot that goes into this fight. A lot of scripting that goes into it with all the different situations there can be. What is the max amount of the regular honor guards that I can spawn in? Boss honor guard spawns, okay. Only if there are less than 3 alive. And then the static script will always spawn 2, I think. No, it'll always spawn 1. I think I should maybe lower it to only spawn if there's... no. I'll feel it out some more and see if I need to limit the amount of guys, honor guards that can spawn. Okay, now we're in the 3rd phase. Now he's floating around up there. So I really wanted in the 3rd phase to really encourage you to have to climb up here with him. And then I'm going to need to add new spawn doors up here that his bodyguards can spawn out of. Because at the moment, they just really cannot get up here fast enough for it to really be noticeable that they're supposed to be acting as his guards. That was phase 1 complete, okay. Let me have another go at that. The Prophet will attack the Marines if he doesn't know where you are. Okay, yeah, that brought us to phase 2. Have the game wait until it's relatively calm and you can get your bearings before I spawn him in again, and subsequently spawn in a new wave of enemies to go along with them. That brings us to phase 3? I don't think so. I think we're still on phase 2.
Don't let it get away.
You guys stuck over here? Let me see how well his guards path up to him from where they spawn right now. You are not one of his guards. You are one of his guards. Okay, so they know how to get up here. They're pathing well enough. It's just that they're taking too long. Okay, that should be the phase done. The overall phase. Okay, I like that order of progression for regret. I'm wondering if there's any like specific way I should set the honor guards that chase you. What should I set their orders at? I think since they're just meant to chase you around and keep you on your toes, I think having them able to go anywhere in the arena should work just fine. How'd you get more into and build a team for a larger project? A lot of the contributors from CER, we got together to make a more dedicated, detailed team, just because of how much we worked together. And then a lot of other skilled people who showed interest in the project, like Gold hopped on board as well. Also, Echo just adjusted the animation according to my feedback, so let's take a look at that. cheese the honor guards by retreating to the gondola. Well, I wouldn't really call that cheesing. That'd just be like the excessively safe and really slow strat, which I think that probably falls outside the category of cheesing at that point. So I'm not too worried about that. Didn't get a good look at it. Does one person's change get put into the mod/engine? We have a GitHub set up, so it's basically like we all have access to the same file directory and can change the files within it, and then we pull those changes from the other people. We pull those changes to receive, so those same changes are made to like the file directory, the same file directory on our computer. It's basically just sharing a pool. Sharing a file directory across multiple people is how it works. I love the platforming in this area. The level design has always been really good here. Give me a better look at your panic animation, sir. I can't see it very well, but I'm happy with it. Serves exactly the purpose it should. Phase are we on right now? Phase 2, okay. Where are those bodyguards? Did he not get new bodyguards spawned in because the ones that he had were still spawned in? Yes, those animations were exactly as I envisioned. Yeah, we're still on the second phase, okay. Get this fucking Havoc shit off of my screen, Bungie. Yeah, having him always go up higher in the third phase is definitely a good call here. Feels climactic to have to chase up after him. Okay, now, I will handle modeling a new spawn room over here for these guys later on my own time. Next, let me further detail the grunts here. There's 2 grunt squads that can spawn here, the left and the right. At the moment, I just have 1 order for them. So what I want to do is I want to have them basically work the same way as Red. They go higher up the further into the fight we are. So I think starting out, the waves of grunts will start out pretty much on the floor. And they'll go higher and higher up as the fight progresses. Yeah, so we'll have the grunts sort of remain down here. More or less. Give them the search positions up here, though. Early on in the fight, I want the player to have room to sort of see what Regret's all about before flooding the room with enemies. Can't see tails in the background? I know, I need to get a camera stand so I can get a proper angle going. Because it's all my posters are on this wall right by me, but you can't see them. Hi, lol dude. Good to see ya. Okay, and then we'll have them progress orders using the same phase system here. Plus 01 Grunt R02. Keep the fight a secret like the heretic leader? As much as I would love to, I haven't streamed in several weeks and I need some goddamn content, bro. You know how it is. I kind of want to thin out some of these firing points, to be honest, so the enemies aren't super cluttering together. Kind of want them to spread out. Or I'll select what their firing points I want them to have should be, and then I'll trim out some of the bloat. Okay, now the right side phase 3 orders. Maybe I shouldn't have the grunts go up here, instead have them sort of guard the edges instead. Okay, that's the right side grunts. Same deal with the guys on the left. Modifying the level design for this section. Yeah, I need to add new spawn doors up here for the honor guards. I might also trim these walls down in the middle point a bit, so it's less claustrophobic, but we'll see. I'm gonna do a lot of stuff beyond this room, let's say. Okay, phase 2. Talking back room? Yeah, I'm gonna add the back rooms to this level. Prophets present in Gravemind, High Charity, or at least as corpses. That remains to be seen. Nah, definitely not as actual AI that you fight, though. Okay, that should take care of the Grunts orders here. Let me test that out now. I also need to refine these starting guys orders here. I think that'll work on that next. The sort of opening appetizer for the fight before you actually enter the room. There we go. So where the enemies all go to sort of drives where the player is pulled as well. So I think that's good for sort of escalating the height of the boss fight as you progress. Are we on phase 3? No, we're still in phase 2. Now we're on phase 3. Okay, that should complete it.
Go. Grenade! Grenade! Move! I hope you ain't all tough. You're stupid! We'll do a body count later. Lock and load.
Me and my wall hacks. Okay, that works well. Let's take care of the starting enemies now. Everything has been edited from the ground up for this boss sequence substitute. I'm not sure in what capacity I want checkpoints in this portion of the fight. We'll see. Yeah, this is on normal. Well, dude. Let's see what the orders are that I gave these guys. I didn't even give them any orders. Let's fix that. Okay, what do I want these guys to do? Pretty much just stand here. Stand here, look scary, antagonize the player before they come in here. This isn't a very good encounter space right here, so I need to be careful with how I use these guys. Especially where allies are concerned. Okay, and then they can just go wherever if the players run past them or something. think I should probably make some order sets. Just an order for the attacking honor guards here. Let's see, is there a trigger for the player moving into here? In temple, length of 1. Okay, so that'll work. Okay. Also, 1 honor guard all. We'll set their orders, set their style to hunting. And then you can just have them basically have free range of the whole place. Most important thing is that they just go after the player. Okay, now let me trim down some of these firing points so the enemies aren't cluttering up super hard. I have so many zone sets for this mission. In particular, let me make sure the enemies, the AI here on the mid-level aren't cluttering up insanely hard. Just making sure these spaces down here aren't getting super congested with enemies. Least of all this space down here. Probably don't want enemies lingering on these platforms either, at least not right in the middle. Oof, yeah, these firing points are really congested. Definitely want the enemies to spread out more here. 'Cause it's a really tight space as it is. Alright. As far as the ally firing positions go, I think what I have for them already will work. Yeah, this works pretty well as it is. It's just like, again, I really need them to spread out more. And I got the ODSTs over here using these. Definitely have them just like avoid the middle in general, so they're not blocking the player. Always want to avoid that with allies. That's when they start going from cool and useful to annoying and obstructive. To refine the ODST's orders here. And then the other allies here. That'll work just fine. All right. I set the respawning honor guards to here to use those orders that I gave them. Okay, and then the initial grunts that spawn here. What should their orders look like? Pretty much already designed for them. Fall back to the floor here once you weaken them, drawing you toward the boss. Alright. How close do you have to be to this door to get it to open? I have a feeling I should probably script this door to open when you come up to the ramp here. Yeah. Do we already have a trigger volume for this ramp? Yeah, I can use this. Okay, so now I need to integrate all of these custom scripts I've made here into the main script, because at the moment it's in the testing teleport script. So let me let me comment out like all of the vanilla boss fight stuff, which is temple, center, start, overall script for the prophet boss battle. Okay, comment this stuff out, and then I'm gonna put everything used for the boss fight on top of this, on top of the commented out stuff. Redo pretty much all of the scripts for this fight. Making the player have to escape after killing Grunts. Yeah, having to make you manually go back outside makes sense to me. Because there's also music that's supposed to play at that point that got cut. Yo!
Hey, just wanted to say love the CE Rebalance mod and can't wait for this one to release. Also, will you make one for the other games as well, like Reach and ODST?
Yep, all the
What
Bungie
about their
ones.
firefight modes? Cheers, have an awesome week.
I think, yeah, I'll include Firefight for ODST and Reach as well. Because, it's not that hard to carry over all that stuff into Firefight. Thank you so much for the $10, and thank you for using Streamlabs. Play it again.
Hey, just wanted to say love the CE Rebalance mod and can't wait for this one to release. Also, will you make one for the other games as well, like Reach and ODST?
You can keep all these scripts here
What about
intact.
their firefight modes? Cheers, have an awesome week.
Alright, so now I'm gonna copy all the scripts that I've written for this boss fight and adapt them to appear to be the actual scripts that are used. Whew, that's a lot. Alright. Get all that going up here. Alright, and then let me clean up everything. Clean up all the scripts that got left behind. All of these globals on top of everything to do with the boss fight. Yeah, I'm gonna keep Regret's self-destruct effect for when the fight's over. Oh, was that everything? Alright, nice. Now let me take this... Take this boss blockout thing, make that a dormant script, dormant, boss 01 start. Make that an official mission script. All right. Wake, boss 01 start. replace every instance of Wake Temple Center start with instead Wake Boss 01 start. Okay. Get that all up and going. All right. And we're gonna take all the initial enemies here. We're going to move them into the Temple Foyer start script. Temple Foyer start. And that's going to handle everything between the entry of the temple and the actual boss room. There's a lot of cut bullshit here. That I'm just gonna wipe and start fresh. And then we're gonna spawn those elite sin grunts here. Then what we're gonna do is wait until you're actually on somewhat up the ramp, and then we're gonna script the door to open. So they're not right up in your face as the door opens. Door main. And then let's not have it close automatically, I think would be good. Device set position door main 1. AI magically see object. Wasso 1, honor guard init, player 0. Just to make sure they're not facing the other direction like dumbasses. Okay, let's take that from the top, from starting with arriving at the temple to here to make sure all the scripts are firing off in the correct order. Okay, teleport, temple entrance. Oop. No, no, no. Need to get rid of the part that teleports me there. You said it, buddy.
Get close enough to get them! Chief, same team!
Covenant fleet has launched multiple waves of phantoms. Too many for me to track.
What are you doing back here? Did you get stuck behind my scenery? It's funny. You guys beating up on some grunts?
Bloody alien!
Okay, I like that timing. What's up? What are you doing? Hello? We getting some AI perception shenanigans going on here? Where are your guards, sir? What happened to your guards? Okay, well the scripts are firing off the correct order. Something like an infinite boss? I don't know, because infinite's boss times to kill fluctuate wildly between heroic and legendary. Thank you, Chris. Compliment. Yo.
Boss fight is shaping up nicely. Also, myself and one other guy in your VA channel put together a couple of lines for a Falcon pilot during the escort to the temple if you were interested.
Thank you, Mista Lozna, for the 25 bucks. I'll take a look in there after the stream.
Boss fight is shaping up nicely. Also,
thank you so much for using Streamlabs
too.
too.
VA channel put together a couple of lines for a Falcon pilot during the escort to the temple if you were interested.
Gotta get that Streamlabs donation issue fixed? Yes, I do. When will I do it? Not today. Did you care to make Guilty Spark into something more epic? It's worth a try. Okay, seems good. All right, I think that'll do it for tonight, guys. Did a lot of good polishing with this boss fight, and we have a lot more in store. I have a lot more up my sleeve for this boss fight that you've not even seen yet. So yeah, thanks to everyone who donated through Streamlabs, and to those who super chatted. I got a Patreon if you want to help continue supporting development of this mod. And so yeah, I'll see you guys later. Next Saturday, hopefully, and I'll keep working on it. See you then.